In this section, we're going to cover using dealer plates, property called special plates, on your vehicles. What are the rules around using them? When do you have to use them? And when are they not required? So let's get started. Very first part, if the vehicle's in the dealer's vehicle inventory for sale, which really means you own or lawfully possess the vehicles, the following individuals may operate a vehicle with special plates for any purpose. And I wanted to code that a little bit. Any purpose means business or personal. So let's say that you, as a licensed dealer, you go to the auction, you purchase a vehicle, and of course, you put your dealer plate on the back of it. You're driving home, and you're thinking, I haven't been to the beach for quite a while. Can you go to the beach? Can you stop by a restaurant? And the answer is yes. For you as the dealer, and we'll talk about employees later on, but you as a dealer can use that for any purpose that includes business or personal use. Let's talk about who can do that. A sole owner, a general partner, or a manager of a limited liability company, or a corporate officer, or director of the dealer, provided that individual, and here's a key phrase, is actively engaged in the management and control of the dealer's business operations. So that's where we spoke about that earlier on with the application. If you want someone to be able to use the dealer plates for business or personal use, they have to be actively running the dealership. Therefore, they have to be on that application that we covered earlier on. They give a couple more permissions for that. They say a manager who's actively engaged. Again, there's that key phrase, when no other individual meets the criteria in A above. So kind of unusual for smaller dealerships, but a large corporation that maybe has a board of directors that's not using the dealer plates, they can effectively pass it down to the manager who's running that location so that they can use it for business or personal use. Two more exceptions they allow. They say a driver, if the individual identified in B is also in the vehicle, kind of co-pilot, or an unaccompanied adult who regularly resides in the household of individuals identified in B to pick up or drop off that individual, kind of taking mom or dad to work or picking up mom or dad from work is a great example of that. So, of course, that is a big key part of it. Any purpose under category A is what you all as attendees would be looking at. But they give more permissions for people who are not dealers, such as employees of a dealer acting within the course and scope of their employment. And course and scope is important. In other words, on the job. So if I was working for you as a salesperson or maybe a lot person, and you said, hey, here's a dealer plate, take it up to the auction and go grab the car that we just bought, and on your way back get it smogged, that is no problem at all because I'm acting within the course and scope of my employment. But if I was to call you as an employee and say, hey, it's late in the day, can I take that vehicle home and maybe take my wife out to dinner? No. As an employee, they cannot do that because they're not acting within the course and scope of their employment. They give a few more permissions, such as drivers for special event purposes, if they carry a letter of authorization from the dealer identifying the vehicle, the duration, and the location of the event. So let's say you've got a major show coming up. You got a bunch of cars you want to show there. You want to hire some drivers, maybe off Craigslist. That is a great example of it. So if they got pulled over by law enforcement, why are you driving with this dealer plate? Here's my authorization letter, and they could be on their way. We're also allowed to use those dealer plates for test drives for a prospective buyer or lessee, and the test drive can be up to 7 days. But again, they suggest that if a salesperson is not present, the operator must carry that letter of authorization again, identifying the vehicle, the duration, and the authorization to operate it. So if that person got pulled over at midnight while they're out for a test drive, they could show that letter to law enforcement and then be allowed to be on their way. One more permission they give is employees of a dealership who must operate a commercial vehicle in the course of their employment to take a commercial test drive. So let's say you've got a dump truck out back, and again, I'm on your employee. You say, hey, Keith, take the dealer plate, take it out in the test drive, take that dump truck out for a test drive, rather. That is all completely illegal. But what you cannot do is you can't use that dealer plate to generate revenue. So you couldn't put that on a dump truck and use it for a dump truck business, or put on a tow truck and use it for a tow truck business, or put it on a car and rent the car out. These permissions are all allowed, but kind of generating revenue under that dealer plate, nope, not allowed to do that. We can't use it for that purpose. Let's look at that code or the regulation for it. I'd like to share that one with you. And of course, a lot of our programs contain that reference. So there it is right there, California Vehicle Code, section 11715, if you want to Google that. They say, of course, that dealer plates may be used by dealers, manufacturers, and remanufacturers and distributors to operate any vehicle. There's a key phrase, owned or lawfully possessed by the dealer. So if it's your vehicle, even though it's not titled in your dealer's name, you can do it because you own that vehicle. And a vehicle displaying a special plate may be used to tow or transport other vehicles, but not as a tow business. So if you want to put that onto maybe a pickup truck with a dealer plate and hook it up to a trailer with a dealer plate, in that trailer is a motorcycle that you're transporting, no problem at all. You just can't run it for tow business. And we may use the special plates for delivery to the buyer. And when the sale is consummated, a big fine word for finalized, and that means when it's consummated at the place of delivery. So if you were delivering the customer as part of the deal, that vehicle, you hand them the keys, they hand you the money. Now it is their vehicle. Your dealer plate's got to come back because you can't put a dealer plate on someone else's vehicle. Let's look at a couple of those dealer plates right now and kind of show you how they all work when you get yours. And we'll zoom in a little bit too. On the left-hand side, you can see simply DLR. That is short for dealer. There's our dealer license number, 56202. Apparently, we are in line behind 56201. The next person got 56203. They're assigned numerically. It went up all the way to 99999, and then, of course, reset back down. So you'll get a number somewhere in the 4-digit range onto it. And if you look right above that, you see the standard month and sticker areas. Those stickers will match up your dealer license stickers. So the month you get your license on, that'll be 1 year from then, and of course, 1 year from that in a year. If you look to the right of that 56202, you can see what we call the plate number or the series number. So in this case, that would be our second plate issued to it. They're always going to show 56202. So we would have got 1 and then we got 2. And right below the 2 is, again, the replacement series of it. So this is the original issue. But if we had that plate lost or stolen, they'd replace it with 2B. If we have that one chewed up in a car wash, they'd replace it with 2C. There's no way of personalizing dealer plates, no way of customizing them, but the plate expiration always matches your dealer license expiration. So in this sample picture, March until 2030. And again, no way of picking a number for it. I wish we could do that, but we can't do it. We can't even go with special colors. Plain old boring dealer plates. And that is considered to be public information. You can go to the DMV's website, enter someone's dealer plate number, and find out who that dealer is.